past the New York Jets 23-20 last night. More of a nail biter than we thought it'd be.
No kidding. They fought back. The Chiefs ended up first quarter 17-0, but the Jets really did put up a fight. Chiefs ultimately walking away with just a 3-point win.
KSHP 41 reporter Mackenzie Nelson was in New York for the game. She has some key takeaways this morning.
Another win, on the East Coast, impacting. Now they've got that 3-1 on the season.
Not an easy victory.
No.
We were thinking all week, this is not going to be that big a deal. Chiefs up 17-0 in the first quarter, cruising. I thought, here we go. Then the Jets came back, tied the game at 20 in the third quarter. Not an easy win at all.
No, mistakes, turnovers helped the Jets come back, but in the end, the Chiefs got the 23-20 win.
We should say he's spoiled us. Like, we expect such greatness from him nonstop. He's allowed to have a
Not
less
a
than
perfect
perfect
game, yeah.
They still won. Now let's talk about T Swift, because for the second week in a row, she was there, we assumed, to support Travis Kelce.
With lots of famous friends. Taylor joined with some of her closest friends, including pop star Sabrina Carpenter, actor couple Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds.
My kids were like, Ryan Reynolds is there? Like,
Hugh Jackman was there, Wolverine, Game of Thrones actress Sophie Turner. Man, it was Hollywood.
Yeah, we don't know yet if Taylor will be at the next Chiefs game, which is on the road against the Vikings next week. If Taylor Swift is in Minnesota next week for the Vikings game, that would be such a story coming up. After
They're still on strike, demanding better working conditions from the big three automakers.
Now, as you know, neither of our plants here in Kansas City have been called to strike, but workers are still impacted, especially at that GM plant.
Pivoting, right? KSHP 41 sports director Nick Schaefer talked with Chiefs analyst Pete Sweeney about the biggest takeaways from the win.
Yep, and we won ugly. We start there this morning with a 3-1 record on the season after the Chiefs beat the Jets last night.
Not an easy victory. We kind of thought it was going to be. So the Chiefs did win over the Jets 23-20. Man, oh man, not how we thought this game was going to go.
And we talked about it all throughout the week. I was thinking this morning, like, is it my fault for saying all week it's going to be a blowout? I hope it's not my fault. The Jets came back after being down 17-0, tied the game 20-20. Mistakes and turnovers helped that happen. But as we mentioned, 23-20 was the final score. Let's take a look at some of the. Did you notice that Andy Reid's still holding that red Sharpie during the press conference after the game? We cannot forget about T Swift being at the game. I don't know if you noticed, but she was at the game last night. Second week in a row, she's there to support the Chiefs. One player in particular, we believe.
That's right. The Eras Tour performer showed up decked out in a black leather jacket, sitting in a suite at MetLife. At one point, Donna Kelce joined her, along with some other Hollywood heavy hitters.
Donna was at the Philly game earlier in the day for
with
JC.
the State Farm guy.
Right, and then came to this game. She's a busy lady.
So Taylor joined with some of her closest friends, pop star Sabrina Carpenter, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, and Sophie Turner, and Wolverine himself, Hugh Jackman. And this is Anthony Porofsky from Queer Eye, who spent his summer in Kansas City filming.
Every shot, I was like, is that this person? No word yet on if Taylor will be at the Chiefs game. Next week, they'll be on the road to take on the Vikings in Minnesota. Can you imagine if she shows up in Minnesota for that game?
I tell you. And meanwhile, Arrowhead.
3-20, your final score over the Jets. It was a 9.5-point spread, and a lot of people lay in the points thinking that's going to be no problem.
You went to bed at halftime, which I should have done, because once the second half started, like, what is happening here? Sports director Mick Schaefer and Arrowhead Pride's Pete Sweeney gave us an update on what the Chiefs look like now after week 4. Summer, too. It's a nice, toasty day for everybody out there at the stadium.
Lindsay Anderson joins us now for some details on what our forecast looks like, because
it's October.
Before the end of the week, you've got morning lows in the 40s, which is what we're expecting this time of year.
It's coming. It's going to be really nice.